we stand for the pledge and God bless America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Okay, that was as good as I always remembered it. Thank you very much. All right, so Ken, who is what I was hoping to do our moment of inspiration, has a schedule conflict, so that leaves us without an inspirational moment. So I thought I would step in real quickly and just speak about what today is. Obviously, today is Ash Wednesday, and if we look at the Kiwanian objects, number 1, it says to give primacy to the human and the spiritual, rather than the material values of life. And I think that's a good lead in just to give a little background, at least from my perspective on Ash Wednesday, which begins Lent for Christians and starts a 40-day season of prayer, fasting, and giving in preparation for the resurrection of Jesus. Lent will end this year on April the 17th. It's 40 days long and represents the 40 days that Jesus spent fasting and praying and being tempted in the desert. It's found in Matthew 4, 1-11, and before he started his own ministry. The ashes symbolize death, repentance, and dust from which God made us. And traditionally, in many churches, the ashes are made from the blessed palm branches from last Palm Sunday. The practice of wearing ashes comes from an ancient Jewish tradition. Ash Wednesday, today is a time to show repentance and mourning for sins and to develop a spirit of humanity and sacrifice. So much in alignment with we as Kiwanians, how we try to live our lives as well. So that's our moment of inspiration today. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Sue, who will handle the balance of the meeting. Sue, it's all yours.
Okay, I'm going to introduce our speakers for today. We have Gina Stano and James, and you want to pronounce your last name for me?
Pepe.
Pepe, okay, good. And they're coming from the cancer support community, and we're really happy to have you here and learn about what's going on in your community. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting
All
us.
right, Jan, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, I just want to say I met Gina when she was working for Lehigh Valley Children's Centers, and now she is the executive director of the executive director of the cancer support community of the Greater Lehigh Valley. So I'm so glad she could be with us today. She is a lifelong resident of the Lehigh Valley, and she has 26 years of experience raising awareness and much needed funds to provide services and programs for local organizations' clients. Gina is proud to have worked at organizations whose mission and vision and values aligned with hers. And I'm sure we'll hear more about that in a little bit. She's a 2019 alumna of the Women to Women Mentoring Program through the Women's Business Council of the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce, and a member of the Alpha Sigma Tau Lehigh Valley alumni chapter. And I'm going to let James just give a little brief intro about himself and what he does for the organization.
Hi, my name is James Pepe. I'm originally from Toms River, New Jersey. I was part of the last graduating class of the school that was known as Allentown College of St. Francis de Sales, which is now de Sales University. Coming out of school, I worked in the soccer industry for 17 years. Then I moved to the American Cancer Society for 7, and I joined Cancer Support Community of the Greater Lehigh Valley on December 9th as the Director of Development and Marketing.
Thanks. And I'm going to pass this over to Gina, and she'll begin our program. She's already
I
liked
have
it.
the
Okay,
mic,
I'm not going
so-
to do that.
I did bring packets for everybody so that you can take our information. I'm Gina Stano, as Jan said, the Executive Director of Cancer Support Community. And I have been with the organization for 18 months. The first question I always get asked is, why Cancer Support Community? My mom is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and she used the programs and services at Cancer Support. So I saw this as an opportunity to give back to an organization that is near and dear to my family, and as a way to ensure that we are able to continue to provide the services to individuals who are affected by a cancer diagnosis. So what makes us unique is we provide the programs and services to any individual impacted by the cancer diagnosis. So it can be the cancer patient, it could be their caregiver, their friends, their family, anyone who is being impacted, and there is no time frame on when you can come to us. We get calls the day individuals are diagnosed saying, we were referred to you by our nurse navigator. What services do you provide? We have people who get through treatment and say, I got through treatment, I really didn't deal with my feelings or everything that was going on. How can you help me? What brings most individuals, particularly women, to us is our wig salon. So if you are individual men or women, if you are going through treatment, you can come to us. You will meet with a retired hairdresser who will fit you for a wig. We have many styles, many colors. If we don't have something that you like, we will order you the wig that you want so that you can feel good while you're going through treatment. We do the social emotional side of cancer. So we offer mindfulness programs, we do some mindful strolls, we do some light physical activity, we do some yoga programs, we do Tai Chi. We have a calendar that varies month to month. The one thing that doesn't change are our support groups. We have cancer specific, and then we have a general cancer support group, but we also have a caregiver support group. So those are in the evening. You can come in person. We are located over by the airport, or you can join virtually just like this. So we have some individuals who will come every week and see us, and we have others who, depending on how they're feeling that day, will join us via Zoom. We are proud that all of our programs, except for one, are offered hybrid. We do offer a Tibetan singing bowls, which, as you can imagine, does not translate very well virtually. So that is our one program that we always offer only in person. What makes us unique is we support any cancer and we do not charge for our services. So any individual coming to us, it is free. There is no cost. And our funds are raised in the local community. We do not receive federal funding. We do not bill insurance companies. We are not fee for service. So our fundraising efforts are what drives our programs and services. And we do some fundraising events through the year. We're very fortunate. We have great community partners who put on some events for us. We also apply for grant funding. So when we say the money raised stays local, it's raised local and it stays here and helps any individual affected by a cancer diagnosis. And in your packet, there is one of our current calendars. So every month we come out with the printed version. It is also available online. It shows all the different programs we offer. I did put in a copy of our annual report so you could see some of the numbers and demographics. One of the questions we often get asked is what cancer type do many of your members come to you with? Breast cancer is the number one cancer we're currently seeing. Colorectal cancer is also in an upward swing. One of the other trends we are seeing is that younger individuals are beginning to be diagnosed with those cancers that in previous years they were not being diagnosed with. We do offer support for children. Many of the children who come to us, it's their parent or caregiver who has the cancer diagnosis. If the child themselves has cancer, we typically refer them to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation of the Lehigh Valley. We do partner with them on some things, but we do try to refer them so that they can be with families who are going through the same thing. And then the other thing is just one of our general RAC cards that, you know, we put out in the community and we ask people to share. But again, our office, you can reach us by phone, by email. Some people call once, have a conversation with our program coordinator and decide maybe our services aren't for them. We have some who come in for a wig, maybe do some other programs. And again, there's no commitment. Members who are coming to us choose what they want to get involved with. But if anybody has any questions.
How long ago did this organization start in the Valley?
We are 21 years old this April, and we started as the Wellness Center. So if you've heard of the Wellness Center, so we are an affiliate of a national organization. They merged with another organization, and that's when we became the Cancer Support Community of the Greater Lehigh Valley.
Because I went through cancer 14 years ago and I knew nothing of it.
That is partly why James was hired. One of the things we often hear is that people don't know about our services. So we want to make the community aware that we are here in the event that we hope you don't need us, but in the event that you do, we want people to know we are here. 55% of our referrals currently come from the 2 health networks. So the nurse navigators, the social workers, and some of the doctors refer directly to us. But that is something that we're working on, is to get the word out there that we are here and the services we provide.
Looking at Clark here, and it appears from the photos or the pictures on here that all of the hairstyles are females. Does a wig salon do toupees or anything?
We
like
do,
that for
yeah.
men that are going
Yes.
through cancer?
So we don't get calls from men as frequently. So we only keep 2 to 3 styles in our wig salon. But what we will do is, if a gentleman calls us and he comes in, we will pull up the website where we order the wigs and let them select the color, the style that works best for them. And then we order it, and it's usually in within 5 to 7 business days. So it's a quick turnaround. Yes, there are many wigs that most people would not realize you are wearing one. We do keep a wide variety of styles and colors. And again, if somebody's like, not what I'm looking for, we pull up the website and let them pick. Our goal is to have anybody coming to us for a wig leave with something that they feel good about. We don't want them being like, well, it's okay.
Yeah.
We want them to feel good about it because, again, they're going through treatment. They have other worries. Hair should not be one of them.
She's now got 14 wigs.
That does happen. One of our program coordinators is also a breast cancer survivor, and she said she found that she loved all the different colors of the wigs. So she still has her wigs and will wear them, but now she also dyes her natural hair because she said having cancer really made her just be who she always wanted to be and not who, society thought she should be. Any other
Gene?
questions?
Yes, I see you have a large amount of volunteer hours.
Yes.
4,680. Could you elaborate on how your volunteers contribute to the organization?
Sure. So because we are a small staff, we have 5 full-time staff, and then we have facilitators who help us with our programs and services. We rely on volunteers, not just for our fundraising events, but for our community tables. So when there is an event in the community and we are offered to have a table, a lot of times they are during business hours. So we don't want to pull our staff. So we have volunteers who will come pick up the suitcase, go to the event, set it up, answer questions. We also have a Strides for Hope program where it's encouraging healthy living, whether you are in treatment, after treatment, or just want to support somebody who is. You log your walk or run miles from March through October. And then we have some community events that we participate in. So that could be a more individual volunteer, or it can be a group, depending on if you want to do the group walk. We also are part of Boutique for Hope. It's formerly Boutique at the Rink, if you've heard of that. And we use a lot of volunteers during those 4 weeks to set the sale up. So we use volunteers in a variety of ways. We also have some opportunities in the office. Sometimes we need some late office work done for mailings. So we offer a variety of different opportunities.
I see also that in the financial data, you have about 100,000 in surplus or income. What
Yes.
did you earmark that for?
So that was, we were very fortunate last year. And I say fortunate because it gave us that $100,000. We received a bequest from somebody who had passed away, who had used our services. And that money was, we were allowed to use however we wanted in the general operating costs of the organization. So we put it into this year's programming, because programming is, it's the heart of what we do. We want to make sure we can provide the programs that we've always provided, but we also like adding new programs as well. So that surplus is going into this fiscal year's programs and services.
Hey, Gina.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you?
Good. Very interesting discussion. I have a quick question. So, in folks that have been close to me and been through cancer treatment, I mean, I know you have the diagnosis, then you have the treatment, and then you have the recovery. And you go to the doctor and he says everything looks good. There's no sign of any cancer. I'll see you in 6 months. And then the anxiety of that 6 month date coming down the line, and then another 6 month date, and it seems like that is as difficult to deal with, at least in the experiences that I have seen, as it is initially when you're first diagnosed with the disease. So how much work do you do with people in terms of dealing with, yeah, you're good, but,
Yeah.
at least in my own mind, yeah, good shape, but, it's a tough one. I'm curious, how much of that do you deal with?
We actually see that with many of our members. We call it scan anxiety, because every time you're gearing up for that doctor's appointment, you're kind of waiting for that next shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And what we do, it is often talked about in our support groups, but also we offer, one of the things I did not mention is we offer individual counseling. So for somebody who is really struggling with that, and maybe they feel the support group isn't the right place to talk about that, they are able to set up an individual session with one of our facilitators or program coordinators to help them deal with that, talk through that. One of the other things we encourage them to focus on are the mindful activities that we teach them. So it could be breathing techniques, it can be meditation. Some will suggest listening to music. We try to help them figure out ways to occupy your mind so that you're not thinking about that next test.
Yeah. That's, certainly, I remember years ago, the scan would require a 2 to 3 week wait before any results came back. I mean, at least in today's environment, it's tomorrow, it's on your my chart, or so a little less. Yeah. So what do you call it? Scanxiety?
Yes, scanxiety.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Sure, thank you. Any other questions?
Do you interject, when able, do you interject humor to the people? That's what I found with both of our cancers. If you start laughing about it right away, you're gonna beat it.
We do, yes. It's funny because when we are in the office, we probably joke about things that some people are like, that might be slightly inappropriate, but it is our way of kind of dealing with some of the heavy things. And we do encourage our members. We actually partner with an organization called Life About Facing Forward. And the woman who runs that organization found that humor was really her way of helping her cope with her diagnosis and treatment. And she is the person who will show up to a support group and give mustaches to everybody and ask them to put them on and wear it during the support group. She had bunny ears around Easter at one of the volunteer projects. So we do try to incorporate humor because we do recognize that, laughing makes us all feel better. And it's a way to really, finding humor in sometimes some of the, the worst scenarios, it really helps you deal.
I see you have a golf outing. How successful is that for you?
So the Pat Memorial Golf outing has been in existence for 28. This is its 28th year. Last year, that event raised over $100,000 for our organization.
How many people attended roughly?
Last year, we had 140 golfers. Any other thoughts or questions? No?
Yeah, I have a thought.
Yeah.
About humor.
Yeah.
I'm a retired police officer. You should get some police officers as volunteers because generally speaking, we have the most morbid sense of humor.
We will still look into that. Anybody else? Thank you so much for inviting us today.
Thank you.
It's very informative, and it's so good to know that you're out there and telling people about this.
Yeah.
Because that's really an important thing to the healing process and that. So thank you so much.
Thank
It's very nice. And thank you to you too for the work that you do. So
Does James want to talk a little bit about how you do development? I mean, would that be something that would be?
If-
Do we want to hear a little
Sure.
bit about the
Sure.
developmental director's role and maybe ways we could support this organization?
As Gina had mentioned, we are funded fully through donations. The way that we have set things up is we have our standard donor base where people give directly to the organization. We have our events. So we have a group of signature events. This morning, we actually had a meeting and added a sixth. So we have 2 different golf outings. We have the Boutique for Hope. We have a Survivor Summit that takes place in June, where we bring people who have received cancer diagnosis together for some additional education, but also some camaraderie, some fellowship. And then we have a Wings of Hope butterfly release in September. That is where people are able to purchase for a donation a live butterfly. And at the designated time, the entire group, upwards of 500 people, will release their butterflies. We also have paper butterflies where they can honor somebody. So we use our events as a key way to bring about some of that branding and that marketing that we need so people know we're here, but also to bring dollars into the organization. Through our networks that we have from the office, as well as through our board of directors and our ambassadors of hope, we are able to work with a lot of our corporate community. They are always key to a large part of the nonprofit world. So we have partners both for the events and for some of our programs. In addition, some of these organizations and some others offer grant programs. Gina is our master grant writer. So at any time she can be working on 6 to 10 grants. Those are, sometimes you receive them, sometimes you don't. It'll depend on the focus of the organization. There are some that'll take a window and focus in a specific area. So there are times where they're focusing on things such as cancer and other diseases. There are other times where they want to work on, supporting children in inner city programs. Those who are doing without, they want to make sure that they have things. So we're constantly navigating those waters. Thankfully, as you mentioned, the small staff, but we have a very, very large support group. Our board is at 17 members. We have upwards of 40 ambassadors of hope. So we are able to really tap into the people who work with us just to help expand our presence in some of these various areas, whether it's introducing us to donors or to people at certain businesses and corporations. They are on the website. Right now we have our list up. We just finalized the 5th one, although we have not announced a new location yet. That'll happen early next week. And then the sixth event, which is going to be some kind of holiday time celebration just before Thanksgiving to kick off the season. We have that date. We pretty much are in pen. We're still in pencil right now. We hope to be announcing that in the next few weeks as well. And that will take place mid to late November.
Do you have foundations funding you? Foundation?
There are some, and that's usually through kind of that grant process every year,
Yes.
right? They always ask for some of those things on the reports of where did the previous year's dollars go? What are we looking to fund this year? And I'll say 99.9% of the time, those are the dollars that are program specific. That way we can consistently show the reach that we're having, in our area. So if it's, for example, somebody's giving us money for the wig salon, we'll be able to provide the amount of people that came in that we met with and that went through the whole program.
You get United funding?
From United Way?
Yes.
We
We do not get specific United Way funding. We receive United Way funding from individuals who donate through the United Way and designate to us. We currently do not fit the areas that United Way funds through their grant funding, but we are a United Way partner.
Yes, I forgot to ask, do you support children?
We do, yes.
To what age?
Any age.
Any age.
Any
So
age.
how is your youngest?
Right now, our youngest is 8 years old.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's good to know that the things are on your website too, so that we can be aware of the events that are coming up. So thank you. Thank you both for coming today.